In view of the decision of the Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt on Monday, they declared Martin Ameule led 27 lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly that they are still members of the People's Democratic Party, the Rivers State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dagogo Iboroba, said the judgment could not be true because, according to him, the Rivers State High Court lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the case. He said the suit of the claimant was struck out for want of local standing and jurisdiction, also for being an absence of court process, which robs the trials court of jurisdiction to adjudicate on the matter. This is coming after the court ruled that the 27 lawmakers who are loyal to ex-Governor Nyesom Wike are still valid members of the Rivers State House of Assembly because there was no proof that they had defected from the PDP to the All Progressives Congress. The court, in the ruling by the Justice Okebule Basam, struck out the suit filed by the Haisin Amadi and 3 others seeking to declare the seat of the 27 lawmakers vacant on the ground that they defected from the PDP to the APC, and the 17 lawmakers led by the Speaker Martin Ameule last year announced their defection from the PDP to the APC at the height of the crisis between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his extreme political godfather Nyesom Wike. The assembly also became factionalized following the failed attempt by the pro-Wike lawmakers to impeach Fubara in October last year, while in his ruling on Monday, Justice Basam held that Amadi and others seeking to declare the seat of the pro-Wike lawmakers vacant failed to bring any concrete evidence to convince the court that the pro-Wike lawmakers are truly defected and deserve to lose their seats. The judge ruled that defection cannot be established through newspaper publications, radio announcements, or online publications. According to the court, the defection can only be established through the party membership register, a membership card, and such members fulfilling all requirements of their membership in the party. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says it has arrested 3 suspects at the illegal oil refinery in Rivers State. A statement by the Corps spokesperson Babawale Afolabi on Monday, Afolabi said that the illegal bunkering activity site was located at Nembe Odawa Creek in HLGA of the state. He explained that the large drug-out reservoir constructed and padded with the tarpaulin, which could contain 100 liters of illegal refined crude oil, was uncovered at the site. He said that the alleged suspects were currently assisting with all necessary information and would be charged in court after a thorough investigations. He commended some citizens who led constant provision information to the Corps and encouraged them not to relent in giving actionable intelligence that would lead to the arrest of all the perpetrators. Ngomosimi community in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State has shut down the Port Harcourt office of Nigeria Ajib Oil Company. Hundreds of men, women and youth of the communities who stormed the main gate of Ajib as early as 6 a.m. stopped workers from accessing their workplace. The residents came with a placard reading Ajib GMD stop the negligence of Ngomosimi Ajib employ our youth. Dennis Mazi Rebecca Opobo must go. Ajib train our youth. We are capable and we are able. The community is alleging that they are being neglected by the company that has operated in their communities for years. The community also wants Ajib to revoke a contract awarded to a set of people in their areas, noting that the contract was causing killings in their community. Government of Rivers State has announced that it will deal with any person or group of people who stand as a cloud in the wheel of progress in the management of Cocoa Estate in the Coca-Cola Estate in the state henceforth. A statement signed by the Gil Nsa, Chief Press Secretary to Governor Basio to the government immediately disbanded the suspended Coca-Cola location task force and surveillance team in the 4 local governments-owned Coca-Cola estate in Etang LGS set by the Coca-Cola Location Committee, including any other groups operating under any guise. Etienne gathered that over 1,300 plots are located as sued the disbanded Coca-Cola allocation task force team in court for the illegally evicting them over the months ago. The allottees had claimed that the state governments used their money to clear 16 years of debt. The court has, however, asked the allottees to stay pending the determination of the matter. The next hearing will be on the 20th of June. Governor Otu has said his administration is committed to seeing any end to unnecessary squanderable and infraction in the management of state-owned Coca-Cola estates. Governor Minor of Akwa Ibom State has relieved Dr. Basi Okon of his duty as Commissioner for Social Duties and immediate effect. Secretary to the Governor, Prince Enobong Uwa, announced this in a statement on Monday. In the meantime, the ministry will be supervised by the Secretary to the State Governor pending the appointment of a new commissioner. ATN reports that Dr. Okon becomes the first commissioner to be sacked by Governor Umoino. It was speculated ahead of Eno's administration 1 year in office that the governor has been under pressure to reshuffle his cabinet made up of majority appointees in the inherited from his predecessor, Udom Emmanuel's administration. Gallant men of Nigerian Army and civilians patrol foiled a kidnap attempt by the men suspected to be kidnappers in Overi Ogo community in Ogele North local government area of Delta State. The troop also rescued passengers plying the Ogele's axis of the east-west road from Fulani herdsmen's kidnapping attempt. Etienne gathered that unidentified suspected kidnappers weekend trailed one of their victims to this newly completed building along HRM Igala 3 Road in Overi Ogo local community, but unfortunately the mate is absent. But they went away with a yet to be identified person before the arrival of the Nigerian Army that mounted surveillance on the vicinity. Though the report was sketchy and source in the community disclosed that at about 8 p.m. of that fateful day, the kidnappers shooting sporadically stormed the house of their victims. In a related development, the Nigerian Army rescued passengers from the hands of the suspected kidnappers after a gun duel lasting almost an hour between both parties. One of the rescued victims, who identified himself as Comrade Ekiyo Andrew, said they were kidnapped along Ugeli Patani Road and that some of the passengers were butchered. Governor Alex Oti of Abia State has visited the mother of CPL Loki Ikeochukwu Pema, one of the soldiers killed by the unidentified gunmen at Obio Kabia Junction, Obinigwa, LGA of Abia State. The late Ikbama was an indigent of the Mvosi village in Isalangwa South local government area, where the governor also hailed from. The deceased left a young wife and a 4-month-old baby. Oti during the visit commiserated with the family of the late soldiers, particularly the aged mother who was in tears over the loss of the son. He also reiterated his promise that the state government would take up the responsibilities of training the children of the slain soldiers on scholarship up to university level. The family of the slain army soldiers informed the governor that Thursday, June 13, 2024, had been slotted for the soldiers' burial. They said that they had appealed and received approval from the army authorities to bury the corpse. Analyst has tasked the federal government on the need for regulatory policies to help checkmate the activities of herders across the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Blowout, a socio-political analyst John Idomange said it is an unlawful situation for farmers when their farmland and the crop has been invaded by headmen.
To earn a living, it should be a legitimate business. But when cattle rearers go haywire, killing people, then they allowing cattle to destroy crops and economic crops and so on. This is one of the reasons the crisis in the Middle Belt can hardly be curtailed. Where farmers spend their resources to farm, and just as we are nearing harvest period, you see a group of herdsmen invading those farms, eating up all the crops, and leading to hunger, starvation, famine, deprivation. So government should make a policy. I think
Speaking further, John Idomange maintained that ranching is a global best practice on livestock rearing.
Because when they ranch, cattle rearers can, this migratory nature of cattle rearers will automatically stop. Where you have a ranch and these things are fed. If in the advanced countries, in Canada, USA, and the UK, you now see robots feeding cows. I don't know if you have seen it. So, through automation, human labor is reduced. Not this thing we are seeing here where you see a cattle rearer parading with the cattle moving from Port Harcourt to Inagua, moving from Port Harcourt to Ahoda.
ATM recalled that Igbo women in Abia State who spoke under the umbrella of Igbo Women Assembly called for the immediate disarming of violent herdsmen wreaking havoc in various communities in Southeast, lamenting that farmers are scared of going to their farms due to attack and criminal activities of the herders. They also decried the High Court of Residents Electoral Commissioner in the state, Chukwu Emeka Chukwu, made this disclosure in Enugu Monday, saying that the postponed election was cancelled earlier last week due to the security considerations. The RCE said that the rerun election, which was fixed for June 8, would now hold at least dates to be communicated by the Commission. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has denied an allegation of brutality during the recent sting operation in Akure, Ondo State. The statement issued by the EFCC spokesman, Dele Oyewale, said the video evidence populating to show brutality by its operatives was stark, managed, and false. Oyewale confirmed that the Commission arrested 127 suspected internet fraudsters in the simultaneously raid on 2 clubs in Akure on Saturday, but denied using tear gas or brutalizing any suspect. According to Oyewale, the EFCC operatives conducted themselves professionally and no damage was done to the CCTV facilities at the scene. The Commission has begun profiling the suspects and will prosecute them accordingly, Oyewale added. ATN recalls that the EFCC statement came after the video went viral showing 2 ladies with allocated bodies, alleging that they were brutalized by EFCC operatives during the raid. Some youths in Akure, Ondo State capital, has protested against the invasion of some nightclubs in the state by the operatives of the Economics and Financial Crimes Commission. The protesters who kicked against the commando style in which an anti-graft agency invaded the club stated that the destruction of the facilities in the club was not necessary. Recall that at the weekend, AFCC operatives stormed the popular Signatures and Alaba Royal Lake clubs, where 127 suspected internet fraudsters were arrested, including a groom-to-be. The Ibadan Zonal Office of the Commission, which confirmed the raid, disclosed that the arrest suspects were kicked based on intelligence report. Condemning the raid, the protesting youth emphasized that the brutality melted on the suspect by EFCC operatives was uncalled for. One of the protesters, Segun Ogumola, who spoke with ATN correspondents, said the raid by the EFCC was contrary to the agency's ban on night operations. Ogumola demanded that those arrested and profiled as internet fraudsters in the Akure club be released unconditionally. Another protester, Toby Akinobi, said in Nigeria now, youth cannot use phones or laptops. They can't drive cars because the EFCC sees them as fraudsters. Ondo State Police Command has called for a calm as youth storm Major Road in Akure, the Ondo State capital, to protest against brutality of the operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. ATN recalled that EFCC operatives had in the early hour of Saturday stormed 2 nightclubs in Akure, arresting 127 youths they are alleged to be internet fraudsters. According to the protesters, EFCC operatives molested the youth, arrested some and damaged some properties. The protesters, armed with placards to express their grievances, called for justice for their friends. The Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development in Ondo State, Saka Ogunleye, appealed to the youth to calm down, saying the government would resolve the matter. Meanwhile, in a statement posted on his official social handle, the EFCC noted that the 127 youths arrested during the operations were suspected internet fraudsters. The Commission insisted that the operatives neither brutalized anyone nor damaged any property during the operation. Iyaganku Magistrate Court in Ibadan has remanded Taiwo Adewale, who is facing charge of murder and attempted murder. The magistrate, Mrs. Adebola Adeola, who did not take the plea of the defendants for want of jurisdiction, ordered that he should be remanded at the Federal Correctional Center, Agodi, Ibadan. She directed the police to return the case file to the Director of the Public Prosecution for legal advice and adjourn the case until June 28th for mention. Earlier, the prosecutor, Isa Iyabo Oladoyin, has told court that the defendants allegedly committed the offense on January 28 at 5 p.m. at Ariku Oko Village, Ibadan. Oladoyin alleged that Adewale unlawfully caused the death of one Semiola Sebinkan, 46, by shooting them with a gun. She also alleged that Adewale unlawfully attempted to murder one Soleo Jimoa and Ibrahim Adeboyo by shooting at them. Oladoyin said the offense contravenes Section 324 and 319 of the criminal laws of Oyo 2000. Former governor of Ekiti State, Oyadele Fayose, has dismissed insinuations that he has dumped the opposition party, People's Democratic Party, for the governing All Progressives Party, Congress. Fayose, who said he would never join APC, appealed to PDP members to stop mingling his character and persons and cautioned them against politics of bitterness. The former governor, who spoke in Ekiti State Capital, while addressing his supporters, urged party members to close rank, embrace peace, and discourage division and faction among them in the bid to defeat APC in the next governorship election in the state. He also called on members of the party to shun playing politics of bitterness so that PDP will win the forthcoming gubernatorial election in the state. While heaping on the needs for party members to screw politics of bitterness, Fayose said he feels satisfied with the work that Governor Oyebanji has done so far in the state. ATM recalled that leadership crisis, which has plowed PDP in Ekiti State for some years, saw its dividends along the lines of Fayose and Olujimi. Consequently, there has been insinuation recently that Fayose is the new view of his closeness to Oyebanji of the APC, has dumped the PDP and has been given an appointment by the governor. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has approved an immediate increase in the quarterly payment of gratuity from 1 billion naira to 2 billion naira. The increase represents 100% in aggregate for both the state and the local government pensions. Adesoji Adewi, Permanent Secretary, Bureaus of State Pension, who spoke in his office at OK Mosan, Abiyakuta, said the gesture was another government's effort at alleviating hardship faced by senior citizens in the face of present socio-economic challenges in the country. Adewi disclosed that government had also set aside 3% of the gratuity for the pensioners with urgent medical needs or hospital bills. In a recent developments, Adewi noted that the state government has constituted a consequential adjustment committee with the directive to review the pensioners' monthly income in line with the present economic realities. According to the permanent secretary, under the new arrangement, monthly pensions, such tutorial should be reviewed every 5 years, would now be 10,000 for those earning below the benchmark. In his response, the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, Wahid Oluyede, expressed gratitude to Governor Abiodun for deeming it fit to increase the quarterly gratuity. He noted that the increment would assist pensioners to cope with the economic challenges facing the country. 6 governors of the Southwest Geopolitical Zone meet in Lagos have appointed Governor of this Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as the new chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum. ATN gathered that all the 6 governors in the Southwest adopted and unanimously elected Lagos Sanwo-Olu as chairman. Governor from Southwest States convened at the Lagos House in Ikeja, Lagos State, for their zonal meeting. ATN also gathered that comes nearly 4 months after the date and burial of the last chairman of the forum, former Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. Since Akeredolu's passing, the leadership of the forum has remained vacant. He was, however, silent on the decision taken on the issues of the ongoing minimum wage controversy between the federal government and the organized labor, saying that awaits final outcome between the two parties. The 6 state governor that attended the meeting, including Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, and Ekiti State Governor Abiodun Oyebanji. Following the alleged intimidation and the harassment on its members, the Correspondence Chapel of the Kano State Chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists have decided to boycott all activities of the Kano State's government. The chapel took the decision after an emergency Congress meeting at the NUJ State Press Center in Kano State. The chairman of the chapel, Mr. Aminu Gako, explained that the decision was taken in response to the persistence and unacceptable harassment and intimidation of journalists in the state by the government and its agents. Stressing that the free and independent press is essential to the functioning democracy, he noted that the chapel would not tolerate the harassment and intimidation of its members. Bandits have forced the residents of Bassa, a farming community in Niger State, to abandon their homes following the brutal attack that left 20 people dead. Sani Musa, the senator representing Niger East Senatorial District, disclosed the tragic news on Monday while commenting on the beheading and killings of 20 youths and members of Bassa, a community in Sirero local government area. The senator stated that the attackers had beheaded 10 youths and killed another 10 residents for allegedly resisting the bandits' demand to join their groups. ATN gathered that the recent attack on Bassa took place on Thursday. The bandit rounded up about 20 people intending to conscript them into their ranks. When 10 of the youth resist, they were beheaded. The remaining 10 were shot dead. It can recall that in April, the same group reportedly attacked Alawa community, killing 9 residents after overpowering soldiers stationed in the area. Effort to obtain a comment from the state police spokesperson, Wusu Abiodun, were unsuccessful at the time of reporting. 2 soldiers have been hospitalized after bandits operating in Tagina Rafi local government area of Niger State shot and wounded them at their military base. Rafi is one of the hotspots local government area in the state where bandits have been terrorizing residents and making it impossible for the farmers to engage in their vocation. The incident was said to have occurred in the early hours of Monday during the gun duel between the soldiers and the bandits. Meanwhile, one of the bandits' leaders was killed in the gun duel. ATN learned that the bandits were attempting to cross to Mashego and Wushishi local government area of the state to wrestle cattle when they encountered the soldiers. The chairman of the Rafi local government, Rawa Ayuba Katako, confirmed the incident in a telephone chat with our correspondent. Katako said the 2 shot soldiers were being treated at the IBB Specialist Hospital, Mina. The state military containment in the Mina could not be reached, just as the police spokesperson, Awusu Abiodun, could not also be reached at the time of filling the reports. Troops of Operation Well Punch and Operation Forest Sanity 2 has killed 2 bandits during the clearance operations in the Regina General Area of Kachia, local government area of Kaduna State. ATN report that this is coming less than 24 hours after troops took a fighting patrol to the Kajur General Area where they encountered bloodthirsty bandits and killed 5 of them. The State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan, in a statement disclosed that troops on clearance operation encountered some bandits in a gun duel in a Regina area and killed 2, while scores escaped with gunshot wounded. According to him, the troop recovered 3 AK-47 rifles, 2 motorcycles, 2 AK-47 magazine, 119 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition, 2 mobile phones, and 2 MP3 players. Governor Amadou Fintiri of Adamawa State has announced a minor cabinet reshuffle. The exercise involved 2 commissioners in what Fintiri is described as an effort to optimize his administration performance. The reshuffle translates into Mrs. Ndiodu Godfrey Kufuto, who was Commissioner for Information, now taking on the role of Commissioner for Women Affairs. According to the statement released Monday by the Governor's Chief Press Secretary, Womwashi Wonosiku, Ms. Wonfo Anthony moved from the Ministry of Women Affairs to the Ministry of Transportation. Mr. James Ileya, previously Commissioner for Entrepreneurship, takes over as Commissioner for Information, while Hamajumba Gatugel, formerly of the Ministry of Transport, is now in charge as Commissioners in the Ministry of Entrepreneurship. According to the government statement, Governor Fintiri expressed confidence in his commissioners' ability to deliver on their new responsibilities, saying this reshuffle is designed to maximize our team's strengths and improve service to the people of Adamawa State. Commandant of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Federal Capital Territory Command Dr. Olu Saleh Odumosu has called for the regulations of pay-and-take-cars market in the FCT. This is response to the ongoing theft and vandalization of the government infrastructures in Abuja and its surroundings. Odumosu emphasized the need to regulate these markets because stolen infrastructures often end up there and are readily brought. Intelligence reports have revealed that there is a significant market for damaged and vandalized government infrastructures contributing to criminal activities in the FCT. Odumosu made the remark while addressing personnel of the command during the Monday muster parade at the NSCDC FCT Command's headquarters. He stated that the FCT administration needed to regulate the pan-takers market in the territory. He said intelligence gathered revealed that most vandalized items end up in pan-takers markets for sale. According to him, proper regulations would not only help to curb the excesses of criminally minded dealers who receive items from vandals of public facilities, but it will also foster economic stability by ensuring that only legitimate activities and authentic products are bought or sold in the market. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after the short break.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me I tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. Why would don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadayi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Guy, you not ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me, do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
Your electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you no good now. You don't use them, you don't they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Full light. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I bet you identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And do something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
Eh? They greet you.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket.
I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy am. Make her show you something. What? What in be this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put am for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop. No water, no be chemical. Madam,
Water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
where I collect that water, drink am. I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, can drink am now. I dey sell am plantain, I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That's why I talk now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take am.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentary.
Welcome back. This is Transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. Federal government has declared Wednesday, June 12 as public holiday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. The Minister of Interior Olubami Tunji-Ojo, in a statement by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Ashitu Adeyoke, congratulated Nigerians on their celebration. He urged Nigerians to remain steadfast on the intent of democratic governance, adding that President Bola Tinubu is committed to positive reform to revive the nation's economy and enhance security. The minister also called on Nigerians and friends of Nigeria to appreciate the progress that has been made and took forward to the better future of Nigeria's democracy. Federal Ministry of Works has fixed the vandalized rolling and expansion joints used to absorb the terminal expansion at the Second Niger Bridge. Uchenna Oji, the special advisor on media to Minister of Works, Dave Omai Disclosed said the vandalized section of the bridge were fixed on Sunday. He added that Federal Ministry of Works is working with the police and other security agencies to tighten security and also to stop vandalism on the bridge and save the superstructure from further damage. Etienne recalls that this is following a video that circulated on social media last Monday showing how some rails fitting an expansion joint installed on the bridge were uprooted and vandalized by suspected vandals. Sharing the video last Monday, a popular social media is meant to the vandalized section of the Second Niger Bridge. The Delta State's Commissioner of Police, Abaniwan Oda Olufemi, said the move was to secure the place. Our correspondent who visited the bridge on Monday observed the fuel sections have been covered as vehicles move smoothly, although the faulty street light has yet to be fixed, a situation that caused darkness on the bridge at night. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has uncovered the importance of the professionalism and competence among election personnel for the success of election. Yakubu conveyed this in an address honoring the former Director General of the Electoral Institute, the late Professor Abubakar Momo, in Abuja ahead of the Edo and Ondo off-cycle governorship elections scheduled for September 21 and November 16, 2024, respectively. The focal point of this year's lecture was the 2024 off-cycle election, achieving professionalism among election personnel through effective training in preparation for Edo and Ondo state governorship elections. Yakubu, represented by the chairman of the Board of Electoral Institute, Professor Abdullahi Zuru, highlighted the necessity for the election personnel to be knowledgeable, skilled, and equipped to handle the complexities of the electoral process. He stressed that effective training was crucial in fostering a high level of professionalism among election officers. Groups of lawmakers in the House of Representatives has posted some amendment to the 1999 Constitution, which they believe will improve governance in the country. The group led by Ikenga Ugo Chinyere, member representing Idaho Federal Constituency, proposed a 6-year single tenure for the president and the 36 state governors. The group, the reform-minded legislators, said its proposals on the political and electoral reform bills going for second reading would help reduce the cost of governance and campaigns unit and the country, ensure the seamless transition continuity, uninterrupted development, justice, equity, independence of the independent national electoral commissions, effective use of state resources, tackle nepotism, state capture, and corruption in electoral processes. The lawmakers also sought the creation of office for 2 vice presidents, one from the southern region and other from the northern region of the country. According to them, the first vice president would be the succession vice president, VP, while the second VP would be the minister in charge of the economy, and both shall be ministers. The group also proposed an amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 to ensuring all that governorship elections are held in the same day. The group also proposed constitutional alternation to provide for the rotation of executive powers among the 6 geopolitical zones to ensure equal representation and reduce the depression and tempo of agitation for the creation of states. Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Ray Kingsley Chinda, representing PDP River State, has called for the return to the parliamentary system of government. Chinda, who made the call on Monday in Abuja, said there was a need to practice the homegrown parliamentary system of government to address challenge faced the country. The lawmakers explained that the current president system of government was copied without recourse to native background. Chinda said that government after government has made effort to cut the cost of governance in Nigeria. He said the effort made to merge agencies of government and to slash allowances and salaries of public office holders had not been achieved. He said the parliamentary system is cost-effective and self-cleansing, as it does not require much to remove or a corrupt officer and make people in public office sit up. ATM reports that the parliamentary system is a form of government in which the party which the greatest representation in the legislature form the government with its leader without prime minister. Organized labor says it will not accept 62,000 or 100,000 starvation wage as the minimum wage for Nigerian workers. According to Onyeka, the 250,000 latest demand at the last meeting of the Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage on Friday as a living wage for the average Nigerian worker stands. It reports that the development was made known by Chris Onyeka, the Assistant General Secretary of the Labour Congress, while speaking on TV program on Monday. Onyeka said the 1 week grace period given to the federal government last Tuesday, June 4, 2024, would expire by the midnight of Tuesday, June 11, 2024. According to him, should the federal government and National Assembly fail to act on the demands of the workers by today, Tuesday, the organs of the NLC and the Trade Union Congress will meet to decide on the resumption of the nationwide industrial action relaxed last week. In view of the decision of the organized labor to reject 62,000 or 100,000 as the minimum wage for the Nigerian workers, Onyeka said the 250,000 latest demand at the last meeting of the Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage on Friday as the living wage for an average Nigerian worker stand. Reacting to this development, an analyst has identified that the amount of the new minimum wage requested by the Nigerian Labour Congress is not achievable. Speaking on Atlantic Television Open Conversation, a social-political analyst, Asim Adam, said the amount demanded by the NLC as new minimum wage is not far and unrealistic, considering the level of inflation it will push to the economy.
Staff strength of over 20. And me, being a PhD holder doctor who has been receiving 450,000 naira per month as my basic. Then when you add my allowances for housing, etc., now goes to 520,000. Then the gate man and the lower people who were receiving 30,000 naira before, you now bring their salary apart to my 450 because my own is above the minimum wage or whatever. It means that I'll be receiving almost equivalent with all of us will be receiving almost the same thing. Now, what happens? Once that happens, the MD of my company will be in trouble because I'll be asking for salary increase. You understand the point? I'll be asking for salary increase to push up because you cannot tell me that we've only paid so much in Nigeria, then the same person under me will be earning the same with me. It's not impossible. You have to push up for salary increase. And once you ask for salary increase, it means that the company will now look at people twice. And I say it's true, I will pay PhD holders 1 million naira. Then the other one, so then they begin to say we cannot pay. It becomes a problem. That is on the organized private sector side and argument.
Speaking further, Sim Adams, in his opinion, maintained that the 150,000 naira as minimum wage can be achieved considering private enterprise and the current economic situation faced by the masses, especially the removal of fuel subsidy and a hike in electricity tariff.
Let it be the basic. That 150,000 naira should be the basic everybody receive. Mind you, the law says that if I have one person in my office as an employee, I'm not bound to pay the person the minimum wage. It is only when I have up to 20 staff in my office that the minimum wage will begin to count. Now, so make it 150,000 naira for now. With 150,000 a month, basic, adding one or two other things to it, you find that the lowest paid person in an organization will be going with about 2-something a month, 270-something in a month. At least that will cushion that man's effect. But the final say on this is this. That is why you see countries all over the world.
Association of Local Governments of Nigeria says it can't afford to pay the proposed 62,000 new national minimum wage. Alcon blame its inability to pay on the merger's allocation from the federal account and other responsibilities. Aminu Musa Mai Fatah, the national president of the Alcon, disclosed this while addressing journalists in Elafia, Nasarawa State. Mozo Mafata said all the local council in the countries receive a little over 18% of the monthly allocation from the federation account. The Nigerian government has proposed a 62,000 as against the 250,000 being demanded by the organized labor's new national minimum wage. Reacting, the outgone national president said apart from paying wages, they still have other responsibilities such as providing affordable healthcare, education, security, traditional institutions, rural roads, and youth and women empowerment, among others, to contend with. Nigerian Labour Congress has ruled out strike against schedule for tomorrow, Tuesday, to demand a new national minimum wage. NLC President Joe Ajero made this known during the ongoing International Labour Conference taking place in Geneva, Switzerland. According to our ATM correspondent, Ajero said organized labour cannot embark on strike tomorrow because the figures presented by the Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage are with President Bola Tinubu. He classified that the submission of 62,000 as proposed by the government and the organized employees body with local labor proposing 250,000 naira does not translate to labor accepting 252,000 as a new minimum wage. The NLC president also berated the governors of the 36 states under the umbrella body of Nigerian Governors Forum for rejecting the 62,000. And now to business reports. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has refuted media reports alleging that it inflates the fuel subsidy payment by 3.3 trillion. A report claimed that the forensic audit conducted by the global accounting firm KPMG has uncovered a significant discrepancy in the fuel subsidies made by the national oil companies. According to the report by the Witness Live, the audit revealed that NNPCL inflated its fuel subsidy claim by this struggling 3.3 trillion. The audit, which will cover 2015 to 2021, aims to verify the authenticity of the subsidy claims. The report comes several months after the NNPCL's group CEO Malikari claims that the federal government still owns NNPCL 2.8 trillion for petrol subsidy payments, which the company has uncovered from its cash flow. However, in a statement by its chief corporate communication officer Olufemi Soneye, the NNPC said it has never flaunted its subsidy claims with the federal government. The national oil company said its all previous subsidy claims are verifiable, saying that all relevant records and documents have been sent to relevant authorities and agencies for audit. Currency values in circulation has risen to 3.97 trillion at the end of May, representing an all-time high and a 1.7% increase over the previous month. The data released on the Central Bank of Nigeria website indicated that the currency in circulation has been rising consistently over the months from 3.92 trillion in April to 3.86 trillion in March. The currency in circulation has been increasing month on month despite the CBN monetary policy tightening, which has seen the benchmark interest rate at 26.65%. Currency in circulation representing banknotes and coins that have been produced and issued for use in the education economy. According to CBN, currency in circulation at 3.87 trillion in March, represented by the 4.78% month-on-month increase on 3.69 in February 2024. Meanwhile, currency outside bank also increased progressively during the first quarter. growing from 3.28 trillion in January to 3.41 trillion and 3.63 trillion in February and March, respectively. The data revealed that over 90% of the currency in circulation is held outside of the banking system, indicating Nigerians are holding more cash. Refined Petroleum Products and Agricultural Food Imports Institute and major items imported by Nigerians into the country in the first quarter of 2024, the National Bureau of Statistics has stated in a new report. This was a total import for quarter 1 2024 stood at the 12.64 trillion naira, representing a 39.65% increase from 9.0 0.5 trillion in quarter 4 2023 and a 95.93% raise from 96.47 trillion in quarter 1 2023, while the import of raw materials by manufacturers gulped 1.5 trillion naira. Citizens spent 920.54 billion naira to bring an agricultural goods. The NBS in its foreign trade statistics, the NBS said China was Nigeria's top trading partner on the import side, contributing 23.18% to the total imports. Other significant import partners including India 8.46%, the United States 7.98%, Belgium 7.55%, and the Netherlands 4.68%. Etienne gathered that agricultural goods imported are valued at 920.554 billion, reflecting a 29.45% increase compared to 711.14 billion in quarter 4 2023 and a 95.28% raise compared to 471.39 billion in quarter 1 2023. Similarly, raw materials import by manufacturers stood at 1.47 trillion, a 51.78% increase from 966.80 billion in quarter 4 2023 and a 164.18% raise from 555.747 billion naira in quarter 1 2023. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. Still ahead, international tidbits. ECOWAS Court of Justice sitting in Abuja has declined a request by former National Secretary Advisor Cole Sambo Dasuki to enforce an October 4, 2016 judgment against the federal government. In the judgment delivered by the judge reporter, Justice Sango Mohammed Koroma, the ECOWAS court ruled that it lacked jurisdiction to entertain the application and dismiss the same without court. This is coming after Dasuki has alleged that he obtained a judgment from the court on October 4, 2016, declaring its arrest and detention unlawful and violation of their rights under the ACHPR and ICCPR, adding that the court ordered the release of the seized properties and payment of 15 million naira in damage. He claimed that the federal government's failure to comply with the judgment of the ECOWAS court led him to seek enforcement, while the federal government denied the allegations and asserted that Dasuki's properties were involved in ongoing criminal proceedings in Nigeria, which the applicants did not mention. The federal government urged it had fulfilled its obligation and that the court's chief registrar had already issued a warrant of execution, making Dasuki's relief period for unnecessary. Meanwhile, in its judgment, the ECOWAS court noted that having thorough assays and claims the constitutive text of the court is it lacked the competence to adjudicate the present claim. United Nations Security Council has voted to support the U.S. resolution backing the ceasefire plans for the war in Gaza. The proposal sets out conditions for a full and complete ceasefire, the release of hostage held by Hamas, the return of dead hostage remains, and the exchange of the Palestinian prisoners. 14 of the 15 Security Council members voted in favor of the U.S. draft resolution, while the resolution stated that Israel has accepted a ceasefire proposal and urged Hamas to agree to it too. It means the Security Council joined a number of the government as well as the G7 groups of the world's richest nations in backing the three-part plans that was unveiled by the President Joe Biden and described it then as an Israeli ceasefire proposal. The proposal submitted by the Israel to the U.S. and the fellow mediators Qatar and Egypt has not been made public, and it is unclear whether it is varies from what the president presented, while the proposal was agreed to by Israel's three-man war cabinet and has not been divulged to the wider government. Some far-right ministers have already made clear they oppose it. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has not said directly whether he supports the plans as laid out by President Biden. At least 38 people from Horn of Africa has died after their boat capsized off the coast of Yemen, while survival has told rescuers that the vessels, which was carrying around 250 people, sank due to strong wire. The reach continued for nearly 100 people who are still missing. Local authorities in the Rudun, east of Adam, said that those on board were migrants, mostly from Ethiopia, who use Yemen as the transit point to reach Gulf states. Andy Al-Komada, the director of the Rudun district, said the boat sank before it reached the shore. The increase has occurred despite the war in Yemen and recently Houthis That's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. If you missed out, you can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.